So we can really take this wherever you guys want to go. Like I shared a little bit earlier, we talk about right things, right order. We can start all the way back on how do we get clear on the vision? How should I think about strategy? How should I think about team structure? And then as we get into the implementation or kind of the nitty gritty of how to work with your VAs, want to make sure that we've got some of that groundwork laid. So really, I mean, anywhere you want to go, communicating with the team, building out the team, structuring, anywhere, and we'll rope Justin back in if we need to. So who's got some questions?
Well, you and I can finish.
Yeah, so my question to Kat was, I have a nightly rental management company that dear friends of mine that own a franchise in Branson, Missouri, and they manage 250 units. And what happens is, like, if there's a busy weekend, the two of them as executives are running out and, changing out linens and doing things, crazy stuff. And I said they need leverage so desperately, but they don't know about, they kind of know mentally about this. But I was asking, can I get a Zoom call with you? Because I need to, I see these people all the time that need leverage, and I want to be able to bring Sphere Rocket in to their world, and how do I do that, and how do we create the understanding that they need that, know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was talking to Paul a little bit and just learning more about his business. So first time when I hop on a call, I want to know if you're looking to gather more time or if you're wanting to make more money.
Right.
Like, you can always make more money with anything, but like if you want your time back, VAs is going to be your number one thing to do that. Some people just don't want to make more money. I just want more time back with my kids. I want more time back with my dog, whatever. More time at the bar. I'm not judging. Like, do what you want to do. So it sounds like with these guys, like you said, they were, or did you say Dunkin' Donuts or Panera or something?
Well, they use Panera as their meeting office because the SIP Club is, $8 a month for unlimited drinks. So that's where they go to meet,
So it sounds like they just don't want to spend money, but it said maybe
They're frugal.
They're frugal, and so they have. They're both younger. They both have kids, and I think how I'm in a position when I hop on a call with Paul is that like, let's get your time back.
Yeah.
Even if it's 10, 15 hours a week, you got. What do you say? Like they're like 5, 4 years old. They're only young ones. They can spend $1,000 a month, get back 40 hours combined. That's worth it right there, a pot of gold. So when I hop on with Paul, like the first thing I want to know when I take on any client is, do you want your time back or do you want money? I can help you with both, but for me as a parent, young parent, it's Moose too. Like he leverages stuff. He's got a little baby and he just wants his time back. And
Moose,
for
come on
someone
up.
like Ryan, who doesn't have kids, he just wants to make more money. So it's one or the other. You just have to figure out what's best for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Good.
Just a real practical thing on our affiliate program. So we have, obviously, Moose runs our sales team, got our CSMs. We also have an affiliate manager now, MJ. Some of you guys who came on board a year ago might have had an onboarding call with her. She's one of our VAs. She started out as Shireen's personal assistant, moved into onboarding. Now she runs our affiliate program. So she's also a great resource for maybe not this one-on-one conversation with these people, but if you want to do more with the affiliates, we can connect you with MJ as well. So we'll get your links. I think you're already signed up, I think.
I am, and I really want to start a YouTube channel based on this to my market to be able to inform them about what's.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't think they have a clue.
Yeah, we can get you connected with MJ for that piece of it and say, all right, can we create some custom content for you? Here's how we would handle that.
Also, I have a really random. Are you guys all familiar with our affiliate program? We're not here to push it, but obviously some people spend $7,000 a month on it, so it's obviously an opportunity.
Yeah.
One thing that we get a lot is when people give us a referral from that situation. Remember back to your call with us how skeptical you were about just the process. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
A VA, another country, $3 an hour, and I have to pay you a charge. Like, there's a lot of things spinning in your head, right? So as a sales team, we only close like 20 to 25% of any deals that come into our appointment calendar.
Sure.
That's industry average. We're right on par with that. And so when you send us referrals, we assume that only 1 out of every 4 is going to close. Now you're like, well, why the hell didn't they close? This is so awesome, right? But you gotta remember, it's a law of averages that they're gonna have the same beliefs and everything like that. One of the things you can do, and this is just kind of what you're talking about, if you're like, hey, I know them really well, and you're like, hey, the referral fee that we're paying out right now is whatever, $200-300 a month for every, I actually know you're getting some right now.
Sure.
$300 a month for a referral deal. Well, it's like, it might be worth your time because you have the relationship to go, I'll book us a time with them and I'll jump on there with you.
That's what I'm
Like that three-way conversation, it's not something that a lot of clients do because they'll be like, my time's not worth this jumping on with them. But I don't know, for me, whenever I have referrals for companies, I jump on with the client because
You care about them.
Yeah, well, yeah, you care about them and you're a little selfish. You want some money out of it, right? Like it's a good thing to be selfish in business.
Yeah.
But you now are a part of that. The three-way message conversation will close probably 50-70% higher on average when you're a part of it. When you just send them to us, they'll tell us all kinds of bullshit.
Right.
They'll be like, I have no money ever, and Paul's like, dude, they got $5 million in the bank. I know that. Right? Like, because they know they can fool us, but they can't fool you on the call. So it's just a little random. That's not to say send us referrals, but if you do and you want a higher chance of them closing, for you to obviously get your recurring commission, if you have the time to jump on with them and do the sales call with them and us and just kind of sit in the background, it's amazing the difference of the close rate. It's 100 times higher. And even Dave's kind of seen that too. If he just sends someone cold, it's a lot different than what sometimes they tell him. So he does a little bit of a hybrid of that too. So just a
Well,
random
in
thought.
1 hour with them on a Zoom call, and it's $2,400 a year.
Yeah.
It's a good ROI.
100%.
On the affiliates, how do y'all do it? Is that like a link?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's in your contract.
The way, Ryan, since you're newer, the way we do it right now is the affiliate manager will reach out to you after you've been through the rest of onboarding. It's we got, again, great feedback from you guys that there was too much happening in onboarding. People were getting confused. So we really pared it down to the most important things. Work with your CSM, and then we'll come back in later. So if you haven't heard from anybody about it, that's why you're still in that initial stage. So we'll get you all set up.
Existing executive assistant, give me the link. I'll send an email today.
If anyone wants to hop on with me too, I've had a few client calls last week, so just like a 10-minute brainstorm of like, how do I get my affiliate link out there? Like you guys don't have to do it on your own. I can help you with that. Anything from like, we'll talk to you about like a simple Facebook post, or I'm doing a webinar in a couple weeks with a client.
Yeah.
And I'll come on and help out with you, and then you just collect the 20%, and then I get to CSM them, and it's a win-win. It's great.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'll hand out business cards tonight. Just give me your link.
Yeah, Miguel.
That's true.
So accurate. Just to wrap my head around it, because I only referred maybe a couple people. I know they're already in like their interview process, which is cool. But I'm just from what I just picked up from Justin. It's a reoccurring every month, like residual. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, every time they pay us, we pay you.
And right now, because we have a trial offer, if you guys are, it's something we introduced in the last year. They have 45 to 60 days in trial, so you won't get paid during that trial because we haven't gotten paid yet. But the first day they pay, you will get a check on it, and then every month
Why are you looking at me?
then that's part of it. So they get a check. So yeah.
Awesome.
So when you
Miranda.
sign up for the affiliate, do you have to take like some course or something?
No, you just signed. You just click the button, and then we spit you out the link.
Yeah, the very first month we launched the affiliate program last year, we were making everybody have a call with us to just make sure you understood, and we just found that it wasn't super valuable. Most of you guys just went through the process or recently, and so you had a better handle on it anyway. So now the call's optional. If you ever want to jump on, how can I do this? I don't get how that's working. We'll do them, but we don't require it now. We stopped that pretty quick.
And a lot of you guys know that the reason the affiliate program came about was I'm a huge if your business doesn't have a recurring aspect to it, because you're like, let's say I'm a traditional real estate agent, I just don't have any recurring. We just wanted to provide an opportunity to where if you referred us 10 people, you're making $2,000 a month. Maybe that $2,000 a month covers you 3 more VAs. It really started off in a zero costing situation, not a let's grow the business. It was kind of like, well, Paul needs 3 more VAs, and if I could teach Paul how to do it where it benefits me, and now he doesn't owe a VA any pay. Because the VAs too, you guys might not know this is kind of a secret thing. Your VAs also get paid for referring their friends to be VAs.
Oh,
yeah. So that's all. They all know it. A lot of them don't participate in it. It's a very low chance that the referral will ever get selected when we have 60,000 applications. But if you ever hear your VA getting a random $20 from us, it's because they sent a referral of a friend or something.
If there are VAs, do we get a cut of that?
I'll give you one 1% of the $20 is.
When it comes down to like the overall structure of your business and like, obviously that's a lot of my questions. What's the advice for someone like me? Other like again, I know it's just like just gonna become a problem already and figure it out. But like, is there any things I could be doing to be proactive? Because like I'm a trigger puller, so like hey, you have a call. Like I just got hey, you have an appointment to interview a potential executive assistant on April 1st. I'm like, that's a fucking week away. Excuse my language, I'm sorry. But like, that's like 5 days away. Like, that's a lot of time. So what can I be doing to be proactive on this process to be, I mean, obviously, me coming out here was like, yeah, I'll go. Like, and that was like a 3-day ago decision. So it's like, what can I be doing to be extremely proactive to be onboarding the most efficiently, effectively, and scalability aspect? If any of that makes sense.
You mean like what can you be doing to prepare for the interview process?
No, what can I be doing right now to make sure my business explodes to like $100 million instead of waiting until Monday?
Well, you're interviewing your for your executive assistant role on Monday, right?
Right.
So in that case, that's like what Kat was talking about, where it's like, are you getting your time back, or are you trying to explode to $100 million, right? So in this case, you are going to be looking at the tasks that you can delegate so that you can start driving that revenue for your business, right? So one of the things I recommend doing in those cases is doing like a time study and start writing down everything that you're doing. You can get really intense with it every 15 minutes, things that you're doing, put it into different buckets, and then start looking at those things that you can delegate in those 5 days even. You can do that for an extended amount of time, and that can be continuous tasks that you're adding to that person's plate. So that's how I would start thinking about those tasks that they're going to start taking off of your plate.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, just because I sometimes over here, what I need to be doing between now and Monday is basically make a giant wish list of all the shit I want this one individual role to potentially take on. Not necessarily think about the other roles that I want to eventually fill, but specifically think about this one role.
Yes, just think about that role.
Then it's like, okay, we can get this person, cookie cutter, bow tied up, and go to the next thing.
Yep, and start thinking about what questions you need to ask that person so that they can demonstrate to you that they're going to be the right person to fill those tasks, right? So you're getting some good interview questions to ask within those. And we have facilitators on those interviews so they can help you if you're like, I don't know, I didn't come up with any questions. That's fine,
So
lean on them.
Just for your education about me, I've offloaded hiring my company to Naomi and them because I suck at hiring because I like everything. Like if an axe murderer comes in here, I'm going to find a good thing in them and be like, yeah, you're hired. So like,
Yeah. He probably won't do it again.
That's why Tyler works for you?
No, but I'm just saying, like I'll hire, like if I mean, literally, if I'm outside and somebody's like trying to sell me crack, I'm like, hey, if you could sell crack.
Oh my. So bring Naomi to the interview with you. Definitely do that. But yeah, start thinking about those tasks that you want to offload to that person, and focus on this person first. Because if you're going to start thinking about what's next, when you haven't fully flushed out what you want this person to be doing for you, and they're kind of just halfway doing the role because you haven't really given them enough to do, then they're not going to help you create enough leverage to do the next thing, right?
Bruce, I'd love your opinion on this.
I was going to say, do you mind if I zoom out on that a little bit?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask a question. I'm going to Tony Robbins you for a second because I know your personality and I know a little bit about you. If I had to take a guess what you're better at, if I have two situations that I'm analyzing you on, are you better at walking into a room of 500 people and pitching them a product and getting them sold and getting your office completely just swarmed with people using your services? Or are you better at creating a one-to-one relationship and crushing their project and over-delivering services? I guarantee you're gonna be better at that one-to-one contact, over-delivering their services, almost to a point of a fault, to where you're like, oh shit, I didn't even make money on this deal.
It's the latter.
Yeah, so with that being said, when you're talking about trying to scale really, really fast, you can let some pieces kind of crumble a little bit, which sounds kind of backwards, bring your EA on, let that time thing go through, let it go through. But one of the things that you can be building because you need to increase your revenue a little bit more to create some space, in my opinion, it's going to be kind of on Moose's side of bringing in some of that sale. Because everything I've heard is you got video editors, you got, when I look at business, it's lead gen, fulfillment, customer satisfaction.
Right.
Lead gen, fulfillment, customer satisfaction. I have a feeling your fulfillment's pretty good for the most part, right? You know, your customer satisfaction's probably pretty good. I think if you can get more lead gen, more IST, more things like that, I think that's the thing that's going to speed some stuff up. The thing that Brittany's helping you with the like admin, that takes time, Joel. I mean that.
Yeah. I mean that's very fair. Like for me, it's 100% fulfillment and customer satisfaction. And like I said earlier, like I've been extremely lucky. I've never done marketing for a company. They just, I need money. Cool, there's a client.
Jump into that. How do you accelerate it?
Yeah. So I'll take a step back from what you're saying a little bit, right? First off, on the hiring, right? It's not a you issue, right? That's a 2024 issue. Everyone in the world sucks at hiring, right? The goal shouldn't be to get better at hiring, because with as many hires as we make in a given month, I would love to tell you that every virtual assistant's going to be a slam dunk. I'd be lying out of my teeth, right? I would recommend getting better at firing, right? What I tell people all the time at Sphere Rocket is we are not a recruitment company, right? We are a personal development company that's masked as a recruitment company, right? What we're really trying to do is help you get your process and procedures in place to keep the right people, but we also have a process in place when you have the wrong people that we can get them out of your business faster than if you had to replace them on your own, right? So that's the first thing that I would say. But the second one, back to the lead gen, like Justin was talking about, something that I think that Justin and Joel do extremely well, which I haven't seen until I became a part of Sphere Rocket, right, was they do quarterly and annual meetings, right? When you have these quarterly meetings, you should bring your key staff members and then ask your staff members, hey, what are the top projects that we should focus on, right? When you find those top projects, then you just reverse engineer everything. There's not a position that Brittany or Kat or I or Joel can recommend and say, if we get you this position tomorrow, that's going to be the $100 million a year position. You know what I mean? But if you get the strategy in place for it, then we can reverse engineer it. And it might take a quarter to start seeing traction on that. The perfect example is Q3 of last year, we started building out the affiliate process, right? Man, it took us a quarter to gain any momentum on it, right? Once we start gaining some momentum on it, then we hired I hope I'm allowed to say this, a VP of affiliates. He was not the right person. We had to get rid of him, just like I'm saying, everyone sucks at hiring, right? We got rid of him. But today, 6 months into the project, 37% of our new business is coming from affiliates. Because we had the wrong hire, it didn't slow down the project, right? Because we didn't have the process perfect, it didn't slow it down. Like, it took 6 months to actualize the fruit from the project, but where the results came from was the quarterly planning that we had in Q3 of 23. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll piggyback on that. Like I said, we designed the team to accomplish the goal. So obviously we have to be clear on what the goal is. And so I always use this example from real estate because I've made this mistake personally when I owned a brokerage. We're like, we got to do all people are telling us we got to do video. We're supposed to be, sending out mailers to our farm. We're supposed to be doing all these things. And so we hired a client care coordinator because we're like, all right, we got to get more referrals. Well, our business was a buyer lead, like an internet lead machine. That's what we were great at. So, but instead of hiring an ISA or an appointment setter, I hired a client care coordinator because I thought we needed more referrals. When what we really needed was to get more out of the leads we were already generating. Let's double down on the things that we're great at. And by the way, we had set our priority to be maximizing our buyer lead generation, but we just missed it completely. So we should have said, all right, what's the goal? The goal is increasing conversion of our buyer leads. All right, what do we need to do that? We needed a more consistent appointment setting process. Let's get an ISA on board. That's what we should have done. What we did was say, we need more deals. Let's hire a client care coordinator so we can try to get more referrals. Instead of saying, all right, we had this priority, but we didn't execute on it. So we designed the team not to accomplish the goal, but to chase something that we thought we were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Now, if your business is referrals, And maybe the answer isn't marketing, maybe the answer is get more referrals. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying think about it, right? And then now, what do we need to do to get more referrals? Now we're talking about a client care, client love position instead of appointment setter. So yeah, spot on, Moose, of get clear first and then build.
How do you notice, like, what is a big red flag? And you're like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this shit. Like perfect example, like you're falling into the wrong thing when we're supposed to maybe make that higher. Do you have any like systems or like things that kind of keep you like in the lane?
Yeah, I'll give you the oversimplified answer is what is the most valuable thing you can do for the business? So for example, right now, all Justin, I shouldn't say all he's doing, he's doing more things. We're not quite at that point yet, but the only thing he's focused on, where his mental energy is going, where his time is going, is speaking from stage. Because that is where we're getting the biggest ROI. It's also something only Justin can do right now. Moose has been going on some of the stages and improving skill, but Justin is get on stage and speak from stage. And so that's all he's focused on. So right now, I can say to Justin, is what you're talking about right now helping you get on more stages or get more business from stage? And if the answer is no, we're going to say, all right, should we even be having this conversation or not? And he can say to me, hey, are you providing the right level of leadership, accountability for our team? Are your metrics dialed in? Because that's the best thing I can do for the team is provide leadership and accountability for our other leaders so that they can achieve. And so if I'm not doing that, he can say, why are you spending your time that way? So that's the oversimplified version because we're all getting pulled in a lot of directions. But as you identify your quarterly, monthly priorities, however you're doing a planning rhythm, now the question you're going to ask yourself as much as possible, and that might be every hour in the beginning, it is what I'm doing, contributing to one of these three priorities. There's a great story. I think you sent it to me originally, but I think it was a English rowing team, like 2000 Olympics. England had won a gold medal in 100 years in this rowing event, and they got a new coach or a new leader, whatever it was, come on it, and they started running every single decision through the idea of, will it make the boat go faster? That's it. Will us doing this press tour make the boat go faster? No. But us going out and partying tonight, will that make the boat go faster? No. Every single decision went through the filter of, will it make the boat go faster? So if you can identify the one thing, maybe not one thing, maybe it's three things this quarter, and now we run every decision through, will it make the boat go faster? Will that help us get our affiliate program off the ground? Will that help us get Justin on more stages? Will that help us dial in and improve our client success journey? And if the answer is no, and we get it wrong still too, right? We go off on our rabbit holes sometimes too. But that's, get clear on the priorities and then run everything again and be ruthless. The rest of it can probably wait. Sometimes it really can't wait, but it almost always can wait. Everything else can wait.
Joel, do you want to go through a framework that is? Just the, like EOS to each end scaling up, just so they can note that?
For like priority setting?
The one we follow,
Yeah, so what we're using right now is, originally I think Jim Collins coined the term, but the idea of the rocks. Have you guys heard this one? So setting our quarterly rocks. The idea is if you've got a jar, and you've got some sand, some gravel, and some rocks. If you put the sand in first, it's going to fill up the jar too far. You'll never be able to fit the rocks in. If you put the gravel in first, you'll never be able to fit the rocks in. The idea is you put the rocks in first, and then the sand and the gravel can fit in the jar and filter in. So the idea of the rocks is your most important priorities for us, it's the next quarter. So we talk about our rocks. We usually end up with 3. Sometimes we've tried 4 or 5, and that was too much, and we didn't execute well. In a perfect world, there would be 1. So our rocks are going to be our most important quarterly priorities for us. And then again, like Moose said, we're going to reverse engineer what needs to happen, what milestones need to happen, what resources do we need, what staff members potentially do we need in order for 90 days for us to look up and we've accomplished that run. Now we're going to try to break that down, reverse engineer, into our monthly and weekly targets. And then what we do is we meet, and we've gotten a little bit off track, to be honest with you guys, on this. But we meet weekly for sprint planning, we call it. We have a week-long sprint. What are we going to do this next week to move the ball forward, to move the needle on each of our rocks? And it doesn't mean that nothing else happens in the company besides those rocks. We obviously still have to run a business, but that's where our focus is going to be. Is that kind of what you were getting at?
Yeah, and sometimes the rocks can be ugly. Sometimes the rocks can be, well, how do I get out of production next week? Sometimes the rocks are just like, as an agent, you might need to just go hold 20 open houses to close 8 more deals so you have 80 grand in the bank.
Yeah.
Like sometimes that's the rock. Sometimes you're like, I got 0 in my bank account. Well, it's like, okay, you got 0 in your bank account. You're not going to go hire a whole bunch of leverage. You're not going to build a team. Maybe your rock for that quarter is I just need to go make 100 grand as fast as possible so
That's
that
okay.
I can get in a better position. So don't always think as we talk big and leverage that rocks are always, I mean, that at one point was our rock. It's like, hey, we need 200 grand in cash. We're going to run webinars and do stages. And like that was our rock. It was like to fill some cash. So it wasn't some like big, oh, Justin's going to go lay on a beach and let's try and get to that goal. You just got to get 200 grand in cash. So just know your rocks aren't always pretty and sexy.
Yeah, one of our recent ones was fix our financial reporting. Which doesn't seem like we should have had to do that, but we did. Right? But we spent a lot of time on it. Yeah.
Does Sphere Rocket help people discover what their rocks may be?
Yeah, absolutely. You're seeing again. We designed the CSM department. Brittany and Kat, you can jump in here just a sec. We designed the CSM department that it's more of a coach than a customer service rep, right? Like these are experienced people who've helped build businesses, and they're going to be able to do the same for you guys too. And then something not a lot of people lately are taking advantage of. I do a Friday coaching call around operations, 11 a.m. Central every Friday. There's usually just a few people on it, so a lot of times that turns into a one-on-one session. We can keep tab on that stuff as well. And then I don't have a ton of time to do them, but I always have a few slots every week to jump on the phone and just talk through your business. But Brittany nailed it. You start with that, with some kind of time audit. What are literally everything that I'm doing right now, and then we'll go back through, and we might have it, well, it's in Sphere Rocket files somewhere, but I can share it directly with everybody. And we go back through then and say, like, what do I love to do, what do I hate to do, what can only I do, what am I world class at, what am I terrible at, and basically start unloading the stuff that you hate and unload the stuff that you're terrible at. And so that helps us get to the rocks and helps you get to where should I be spending my time, which for most of you guys is leadership and revenue generating activities. If you have larger teams and you've got other leaders, then it looks like accountability. But
that's it's page 70 through 120 under the Arizona Mastermind. If you're looking for that document.
I'm impressed.
We'll set up a call, don't worry.
You guys want to add anything to what you might do or what you have done in terms of helping with priorities?
Yeah, another thing I like to recommend as far as categorization of those is like tactical and strategic. If it's strategic, it's probably something you still need to be spending time on because it hasn't really been fully developed, right? But if it's tactical, there's a process. Even if it's something that there easily could be a process, that's something that can be delegated. So one of the things I like to do, like with my VA, is either record a Loom or hop on a Zoom call, record the meeting, say, hey, this is a new task I'm gonna give you, show her what I need her to do, and she knows what format I like the SOP documented in, and she documents it for me. So that's something that she'll do whenever like I or one of the CSMs give her a new task. So that's a really simple way to do it without getting overwhelmed by, oh, I have to type this all out perfectly. So.
I can share. Brittany is actually my